the section which precedes pardon in our Constitution is the power of nolle prosequi, which is a well-known power of the Attorney General to terminate a prosecution in the public interest. Now, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has said that that decision cannot be questioned by the courts. In fact, I was in a case a few years ago where the judge, a no-case submission was made. The judge said, there's a case to answer, enter your defense with a foreign national. And an Attorney General of a state in Nigeria, without explanation, issued a nolle prosequi. It was not obvious what were the reasons for this exceptional exercise of power in the favor of one individual who was accused of theft. But it could not be questioned by the courts. Came back to the court, the same court that held that there was case to answer, said, I have nothing but to honor the Attorney General. So that is section 174. This one is section 175. Nobody's talking about the power of nolle prosequi, but it's common. The fact is that in the public interest, in the First Republic, some attorneys general exercise the power in favor of their political associates. You're in my political party. Now, it brings the power into disrepute, but it is legal but politically unsafe. And the consequence of failure, and indeed, the Supreme Court held in the case of the state against Ilori, I think is the case, which where the then Solicitor General had exercised the power, the consequence of bad judgment is political, not legal.
Okay. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll start taking your phones, taking your questions and reactions. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Discourse with Jimi Disu, and I still have Yemi Kande Johnson. And we're looking at the issue of the controversial prerogative of mercy list that the president announced. A colleague of yours, a lawyer, said yesterday, I think in the papers, or the day before, that the president has already gotten the approval of the Council of State on the names that are announced in the first instance. That he needs to go back again to the Council of State to get approval for his reviewed list.
That's nonsense.
He doesn't need to do that.
The Council of State, the constitutional requirement is that he consults with the Council of State.
He consults?
Yes. He has consulted with them. You're not consulting with them on a list. Effectively, you're consulting with them on each specific pardon.
Okay.
They then say, we agree you can pardon these 74, but the decision is his. I now pardon 54. There's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Each case is considered individual. There's not a package. It's not a package deal of pardons. So the logic for going back to say it was 74, now it's 74.
But if he had 70,
me. Yes.
In the case of Sonda, he reduced it from total freedom to 12 years.
Right.
Does he need the Council of State's approval to do that? That kind of reduction?
Adjustment? He has consulted with them. Then it comes back to him to exercise the power. The legal requirement is that he consults with the Council of State, but the discretionary power is his. So this is an attempt to introduce ultra-legality into what must be a broad political sovereign power. Yeah, so it's not going to go back, and it's not a package, and it's for him having consulted to decide, because the Council of State can say, this is your recommendation, we agree with you, you can go ahead and do this, and then he decides what he's going to do.
So, but so the prescription really is on consulting.
Correct.
Not agreeing. Is not by
no.
consensus.
It's not a seal.
Just to give them a feel.
Exactly.
Of what the power still.
Yes. And the idea was to prevent the power being exercised and entirely arbitrarily, which it may well be anyway, but in order to confer credibility on the process. That I've gone to look here, Council of State, Committee of Elders of the Nation. I've been recommended a list of people to pardon. This is the list. What is your input? Well, it's fair. Please go ahead. Then he goes back and says, right. So I've decided that of the 24 people, I'm pardoning 12. That's his prerogative.
But the one good thing, though, and I'd like to know how you see it. I think that it was nice that the president took the feelings of the nation,
Yes.
and stepped back somewhat.
Well, there you go.
Yes, because
that's
he could have gone ahead.
Of course, it's public opinion. He reflected on the public outcry, and it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Don't.
If he didn't, he'll be damned. If he did, he's damned. But I think that it showed political maturity. Well, not just political sagacity, but human maturity for a man of his age to consider that, look, I'm taking a political decision. The people have expressed their view. I must reflect it. I salute him for that person.
But what he also did was to move it was now that he has said that the committee will be headed by the Attorney General.
I think
the previous committee wasn't.
No. My understanding was that the previous committee, constituted by the Secretary of the Federation of the Government,
yes,
I can't remember his name. Anyway, but it was the Attorney General head of that committee, and that's appropriate.
But now, because by his pronouncement, it now goes back to the Attorney General's.
Well, I think that's always been the case, but if he says so again, I'm not aware of that statement. But my understanding was that the Committee for the Prerogative of Mercy, which advises the president, was headed by the Attorney General of the Federation, and that would be proper. So if he said that's what's going on, I don't think there's anything exceptional about that.
I don't think you have any military experience, so I can't ask you anything about the coup attempt, if there was any.
There was there?
I don't know. Maybe that's why I just wanted to, just in case.
What were you going to ask me? I can't tell you whether there was one, so I'm not sure what question you are going to. And when you say the coup attempt, this is a presumption that there was a coup. I don't know.
There's a coup attempt. No, I said I don't know.
Okay.
You're my lawyer.
Well, I better give you legal advice off air.
Okay, our lines are now open 0201. Do you have any callers yet? 0201 2770 and 0201 7190. As an elder statesman in the country, are you a bit bothered about the state of affairs of the country as things are now? Did you hear what SLS said? And at Ted Opita's side, did you follow what?
I think Lamido Sanusi said something about the central bank and
yes, and the fact that it's a shame that Nigerians are not known at the very top, the political elite and so on, of telling whoever is the ruler or whoever is the president the truth about certain things.
Are Americans known for telling the president of America?
Well, we'll concern ourselves. We'll concern ourselves with Nigerians.
No, because it's not true that Nigerians don't speak out, and it's not exceptional if in political circumstances people don't speak out. This is why I use a foreign example, because power is a very curious thing. It's like I'm told Indian hemp. I can't speak from personal experience, but I'm told it obscures your perspective, and
I don't like the way you're looking at me because I don't have any. I don't like the way you're looking at me. You hear from my lawyers.
So this is the problem. So politics is a consuming passion, and in the political milieu, people's judgment is moderated, because there are many things to consider. And so it's not unusual. But then I'm glad for people like Lamido Sanusi, whose voices are heard on topics, whether I agree or not. I'm glad for Ted Opita's side, who speaks on public issues and expresses his opinion. It's important in the public space that diversity of opinions are heard. And whether there's a reason for procedures. Let's not look at the Council of States. Let's look at a successful, modern, major corporation.
Yes.
When you come to the board meeting, there are many subcommittees, finance, general purposes, audit, etc., who have reviewed issues that are critical to the business of the company. And when they come to the company, they give reports to the general board saying, we've considered this is our view. Other members of the board will ask questions. And on the basis of that collective judgment, the work having been done in advance, a decision will be taken, which should be in the best interest of the company. It is the duty of every board director to act in the best interest of the company. It is the duty of every minister empowered by the president under the power that he has under the Constitution to act in the best interest. So I would expect that every ministerial task, before it comes to the Federal Executive Council, has been prepared in depth, analyzed, corrected, checked. When it comes to the president is not going to go and check how many secondary schools there are in Kara and Namoda. He's going to assume that those who have been empowered have done their job before it comes to the presidency. So it would be exceptional for a memorandum coming to the Federal Executive Council to be met with stiff opposition. But if something came up which had been overlooked, that is an opportunity for somebody to say it. If I knew that the Minister of Commerce was presenting a memo as Attorney General which was inconsistent with the Constitution, I would call him and say this is a problem with this memo, and I'd expect him to reflect it before we came to the. Yes, that is the way it should work. It would be exceptional and unruly because every member of the cabinet takes responsibility for what is done in the cabinet. So it would be exceptional for there to be a rowdy session where there was disagreement, and everybody's appointed by the president. They all work for the president. They serve at the pleasure of the president.
Haven't we made our president a bit too powerful? The balances and checks certainly don't work. I mean, haven't.
You know, those are two separate questions. Yeah. I don't believe that constitutionally the president has been made too powerful, though it's an exceptional power that presidents exercise, executive presidency. But the test of the limitations in the Constitution is in the eating, to see what happens, whether people, if the National Assembly exercises its responsibility, if the judiciary exercises its responsibility, those checks and balances will work. If every other branch of government lies prostrate before the presidency, as is happening in America.
Yeah.
So there are other national examples of that, and there the Constitution is being tested. If the president continues to expand the scope of his power and nobody resists it, it will become unstoppable. But it helps the president, even with the political consequences of his action, that the power is dissipated so he can say, well, I consulted with the National Assembly, they put their input. But now what you see now in the National Assembly, this bow and go syndrome, it's not only a reckless application of responsibility, it's highly irresponsible. Because even a good candidate is going to be disturbed by the fact that he wasn't asked any questions.
Yes.
The confirmation hearing is an opportunity for the candidate to express his capacity, his knowledge, and to prove the wisdom of the president's judgment. When you hide that judgment from public ventilation, you deserve the president. But people think that they're serving him because the habit of supplication before power is one that is excessive in our own environment.
Okay. By the way, you heard that Professor Wole Soyinka was denied his visa to go to the United States.
I think his visa was cancelled.
His visa was cancelled.
Yes.
And you remember that he tore his green card.
Yes.
Are you going to represent him? Is he going to go to court? What do you think he should do?
I think he needs a bigger lawyer than me. Yes. It's good to stay in your own lane and wear the shoe of your own size. He tore the American green card.
Yes.
This is an official sovereign document. I think he'd indicated quite clearly that he had no interest.
Yes. Why then?
The controversy is sterile, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I wondered why he called the press conference to say that his visa had been cancelled. And like everybody has said, and like the Americans said, they have the right to accept.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
They have the right to.
He cannot have, in any event, at 90-something, what's he going to America for?
Yeah. To stay home.
Yes.
Okay, do we have any phone calls? I think we had a phone call the other time. We missed it. We don't have any yet. What about, is that YouTube open? No, it's not open. Neither is Facebook open.
Okay.
So, Then what else did I say I wanted to ask you, and it has run off my head? Can you?
It happens.
Yes.
As we get older, we get more forgetful.
We get more. Yes. But you're not 70 yet, though.
No, I'm certainly not.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Pastor Adigo, how are you?
Fine, sir. Good morning to your guest.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Question. I want to ask your guest this question.
Yes.
The role of Attorney General and the Minister for Justice, is it not to advise the President?
Yes.
Now, I want you to assess from the last administration and this administration, these two people that have occupied this office, how do you see the way they have performed in terms of the government, the president's policies and actions and all of that? Take into cognizance that of what happened in Rivers State in terms of the state of emergency and what has happened now. Thank you.
Okay, I don't quite get what he was trying to say.
He doesn't agree with some of the judgments they've
With some of
exercised.
the exercise, and I think it's a localized problem. I think there's servitude in our lifestyle, and I'd like to see that Attorney General that can look up to a president really in Nigeria. I'd love to see.
I'm told that in some states.
I'd love to see.
I'm told that in some states they can send their Attorney General to buy suya before
Yes,
before the meeting.
yes. I'd love to see. The things we see these days, my good friend, the Minister for FCT, for example, ended up going to a conference somewhere he had a delegation, I think it was in Dubai or somewhere, and he went with his two sons. As part of the delegation. My reaction then this week was that he's just following the example that he has seen ahead of him. His boss does the same.
Well, there again, it's a judgment. I don't know what they were going to do. If the sons of the minister are important political figures, it doesn't matter that they're his sons. If they're there for the junket, it's a different thing. If they have critical functions in his mission, the fact that they're his sons means that it's going to be controversial, but doesn't mean that it's wrong. But I would have expected him to say, this is what they're going
That's
to do.
a legal reply now. Can I
Have
have a reply for
when
Jimmy?
Mrs. Thatcher appointed her son-in-law,
Yes.
the husband, Peter J. to Washington, they said it was nepotism. It happens in other countries. But the question is is he competent and does he have a job to do?
They don't have a job to do.
Then that is a problem.
How does it sound, Yemi, where this same gentleman, was confronted with the fact that he drives a Rolls Royce around town and he said, so what? What does it mean to you? What does it say to you?
It says to me that he is insensitive and lacks social awareness, and he also lacks judgment. He may be strong in many respects, but the optics is so debilitating to the idea of an upright public officer that it's not necessary to drive a Rolls Royce.
It's not.
So doing it means that you don't care or you don't know. That isn't.
I think it's more like you don't know.
Yes. Many years ago, I had a client who was a very wealthy man, and at Kano, we were coming to Lagos to do a case, and we had this. He bought this what they used to call shalake, those cars that have. So when we arrived, I saw the car. I knew what he was into. I knew the level of his wealth, and it was a man from Kano, and he laughed. Said, "You are surprised." He said, "I don't want anybody to jealous me. I use Mercedes Benz in my house in Germany." I thought it was quite funny at that occasion. But the fact is that he said you exercise a judgment. What does the environment bear? And if you're in public office, it matters.
But I'm so worried about the elite of this country in recent times. Everything seems to have gone gaga, even our traditional rulers. And I don't know, you don't delve into the social media, but the Senate President, for example, has been getting another barrage of accusations, this time even from members of his family, with sexual content, with all kinds of things. And I'm wondering, isn't it time some of our people have this sensitivity that they could be soiling the office and, sacrifice themselves and say, look, because in his own case, we've just virtually almost hopefully have retired the Natasha case, and this one comes from your own backyard. Yes. And it's smeared all over.
We're normalizing bad behavior.
Yes, and
I think that's a problem.
It's becoming. It's in that same context I saw the idea when this man showed up with his two young sons.
Okay, I didn't take note of that.
I mean, you're busy. Yes. We have to do this. We are lesser millions. You're busy taking your billions and billions.
I'm busy studying for the simple, small cases that I have to study.
I'm filling the form to order for your latest wristwatch and Rolls Royce.
Yes, it's shallowness actually. This
but it's
with
becoming more
items
prevalent.
it's
it's becoming quite worrying that the insensitivity of the privileged class.
Yes,
it's very, very worrying.
It's a weakness in reality. If you find empires collapse under self-indulgence. Because to sustain elite status, you have to exhibit discipline, judgment, and vision. You have to understand your environment, and you have to be committed to protecting your position within it. But if you're doing things that are so careless that cause you to be derided, to be disrespected, cause you to be... Eventually, that disrespect and anger will turn to rebellion. So it's a dangerous thing.
Are we anywhere near there?
Near what?
Rebellion.
You'd have to ask somebody else, some radical revolutionary, unlike me. I'm a status quo man.
Let's pick that up. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good
morning.
Adele from Chagamsa.
Yes, sir.
I hope please ask our lawyer why the implication of this current one-party system as the politics is going.
Whether what?
As everybody try to move to...
Okay, I have an idea of what he wants. Okay, so he's worried with the spate of defections. And I'm also worried that when, for example, in the National Assembly, you hear people, party loyalists singing on your mandate shall stand instead of the national anthem. Almost everybody is defecting. When a governor in Edo State has said that all commissioners must wear the Tinubu cap and so on and so forth. But yours looks a bit like the... It's slightly different.
Look, it's a nice fashion item. If somebody gave me a hat that had the broken shackles or the manila or whatever is on it,
yes.
If it matched my outfit,
why not?
Why not?
Yeah, but I'm a bit worried because I remember, I'm being very careful here. I don't want any labeling. But I remember that one of the disasters the world faced way back in the past, things like this, the gentleman wasn't a soldier, he was a politician. You remember the Second World War and all of that. And that if care is not taken, we're headed in that direction, and it bothers me.
Look, people talk about the tendency of politicians in power to migrate to the center of power. That's what is happening. It's a realignment that is driven by self-interest. The Constitution allows freedom of association, formation of political parties, and you can form your own political... The problem I have is the necessity and the rules by which INEC recognizes political parties, because that means that the executive can exercise a power over whether parties are organized or not. But in reality, anybody should be free to join whatever party they want. And if you decide to go to a party which seems more powerful, that's a political judgment. And if your people accept it, your people accept it. One-party state is not a creation of the Constitution. It's not a creation of the one party. It's the result of the failure in mettle of politicians to stand on their own conviction and to stay in places where they've been organized. And in case of people who have gained power through the platform of one party, I think that's a problem. This cross-carpeting is a major problem. It's a problem because it creates confusion and it prevents diversity, which is good for the extraction of the best opinion for the country. Because everybody's not saying, well, I don't want to express an opinion, I just want to go and sit down in the corner and see where I can eat. So this is a problem. It's a failure of the character of the politicians. And it is inevitable when you find that parties are not created around any ideology or government power. I can't remember which president of America said that a party without ideology is merely a conspiracy to seize power.
Yeah.
So if the prize is power and the ideology is irrelevant, then you're going to go wherever it suits you. You go in the night and say, look, I entered here under Labour Party, but Labour Party has self-imploded. So
take me.
Bring me, help me, let me join the party. So it's a failure of the character of politicians. And how do you blame the APC that people are leaving their party and joining them? Why shouldn't they want to bring as many people as possible into their tent?
But where will that end us? That's a problem.
Well, it's a problem. Of course it's a problem. And we should identify it as a problem. But we can't ascribe responsibility to the party to it. It's people's greed. If it was the People's Democratic Party, which at one stage controlled most of the states in the federation, I would just say that it's the result of a higher political skill amongst those who are organizing the current ruling party. Because in the past, another party held sway across the majority of the country, but notwithstanding, the opposition party held its ground. So the PDP, I think, which is the party that is mostly imploding, is clearly lacking incredible, strong, and competent leadership.
Wow. I'll tell that to Uncle Buddy when I see him.
Or is he a PDP guy?
Uncle Buddy George is a PDP guy.
Baba.
He's 80. He's 80 this month.
I think he knows. I think he knows that.
You think he knows that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry I had to get you out of bed.
That's okay. No,
But
I have work to do.
But the pajamas you turned up in is.
You mustn't deride our national dress. This is African traditional dress.
Okay. That's where we'll end it for today. I'll be back again on Tuesday, God willing. On Tuesday, we're trying to look at the issue. We're trying to look at this issue of the Senate president, and would like to get some views on what should happen next. It's becoming very embarrassing. It's becoming difficult to ignore. This time, so close to home, that office must be protected, and so that's what we're going to look at on Tuesday. We are not. I'm not on a. It's very important I state here that we are not on the Akpabi must go crusade. No, definitely not. But again, we must look and preserve our offices for the sake of our own sake, for the sake of our children, and for the sake of the country. You want to bring in foreign investors, you want to do this, you want to do that. The credibility of those who lead this country is very, very important. So we'll be appealing to a national sense and a national judgment to appeal that, if there's a need for a sacrifice, it should be made. So that's what we'll be looking at on Tuesday. One more time, Yemi, thank you very, very much. My regards to Madam.
Indeed.
And the sons. Next time we're coming, please, to Madam.
Indeed.
And the sons. Next time we're coming, please come with the children.